In this video, I am going to discuss 7 annoying things about Johns Creek. Before my fiance moved into the area years ago, I knew nothing about Johns Creek and never even heard about Johns Creek. While there were lots of information about other parts of the greater metro Atlanta area, I never found very much info for the Johns Creek area. However, over the years, I've had the opportunity to spend a lot more time in Johns Creek to form my own opinions. Number 1. By virtue of Johns Creek being part of the South, the summers can get really hot. In fact, the summers can go into the high 90s. As a guy originally from Florida, I can tell you, you never get used to summer heat that goes into the 90s. Number 2. TV reception isn't always good, even with the best antenna. Yes, you can get all the channels with a good antenna, but when the weather turns bad, you start noticing the problems with TV reception. It is definitely much more noticeable when the weather isn't good. Number 3, because Johns Creek is an affluent area, many of its residents are a target of junk mail, advertisements, and door-to-door solicitation. It's annoying, it's relentless, and makes us crazy sometimes. Number 4, I dislike the local sales tax. I notice it and reminded of it every time I place an Amazon order or whenever I have to go shopping. Johns Creek is part of Fulton County. By virtue of that, Johns Creek residents pay among the highest sales tax in Georgia. The only way to avoid this high sales tax is to shop at one of the neighboring counties, such as Cobb County, Gwinnett County, or Forsyth County. However, having said that, it's generally not worthwhile to travel that far, unless you're making a big purchase. Number 5. There is a local newspaper that throws its paper into people's yards every week, whether you want it or not. In some ways, it's actually worse than junk mail, because at least junk mail you don't see. It's out of public view. With this weekly paper being thrown in people's yards every week, you quickly notice which houses are vacant or not occupied, because there's a pile of these soiled papers sitting throughout the yard. People have complained about this over the years, but nothing seems to be able to be done. So if you buy a house in Johns Creek, you will forever have to deal with this weekly newspaper being tossed into your yard. Number 6. There are too many HOA neighborhoods in Johns Creek. Now, I say this as a person who has lived in non-HOA neighborhoods for most of his life. I'm not saying HOAs are always a problem, but for a guy like me who have come from a non-HOA background, it can sometimes be annoying. In fact, until the last several years, I've never had to deal with any HOA issues. The issue of HOAs is a hot topic. Some people love it, some people hate it. For me, I'm somewhat neutral to it. I like some of it, I dislike some of it. As such, I feel like I have to list HOA as one of the things that I find annoying about Johns Creek. If you're planning on buying a house in the Johns Creek area, you should be aware of the large HOA presence in the area. Number 7, because Johns Creek is such a young city, there are no official zip codes assigned to Johns Creek. 2 of the zip codes are officially assigned to Alpharetta, and one of them is officially listed to Duluth. And unless you live or do business in the area, you would never know this. This can sometimes be confusing to people who are visiting the Johns Creek area. So some of these quote-unquote annoying things that I've listed about Johns Creek is probably a feature for some people. And if it's a feature, that's great. But regardless of your position on my list of 7 annoying things about Johns Creek, I think most of us can agree that most of these annoying things about Johns Creek are not necessarily deal breakers for anyone seriously considering buying a home in Johns Creek. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for updates. Thank you for watching.